Listen up, wrestling fans.
Who the fuck put me in the ring with Minoru Suzuki? You might as well call me the Numpty Hunter.
Doing the math? I don't know. So I don't know how these points work out. I don't know about tiebreakers and technicalities. I don't give a fuck.
This is Strong Honor, and we do give a fuck about the points and the technicalities.
I don't give a fuck.
And the lineups and all of that. Thanks you for coming back to Strong Honor after a week away. I'm Tommy Stryker. Taco's here.
What up?
Joe is here as well. And yeah, took last week off. I was off on vacation, actually celebrating my 10-year anniversary with my wife. But you guys talked a little bit of Best of the Super Juniors and Ring of Honor over on the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Yeah, the first couple nights of the Super Juniors there.
Yeah, first 3 or 4 nights, I believe. So I'll talk a little bit about my thoughts on the first 3-4 nights, but you guys did talk about it over there, so we won't stick on that too long, and then we'll get everybody caught up on everything else that's been going on in the Best of Super Juniors and talk about our recommended matches. We'll get into the Honor United shows from Ring of Honor. I didn't get a chance to see any of them, but I read up on them. We'll talk about the highlights on there. I know Taco saw a little bit of those shows.
A little bit.
So we'll talk about what went on there, and then, of course, this week's Ring of Honor TV, Being the Elite, and so much more here on Strong Honor this week. Are you enjoying, Taco, the Best of the Super Juniors thus far?
Yeah, it's fun. There's been a couple of matches now that I kind of figure I'd just throw on the background noise and get some shit done around the house or get some work done and whatnot, and they end up being, surprise wins and, fucking suck me in. So it's just like, yeah, they're definitely keeping your interest in this Super Juniors. Like, even my bracket, I kind of pegged Osprey and Kushida to kind of work their way through the Super Juniors to face once again. And
okay,
there's a lot of pleasant surprises happening right now from both blocks.
Yeah, I ended up picking in my prediction bracket, I got Ishimori winning the whole thing, with him, of course, winning the A block, and then B block. Yeah, I got Kushida going all the way, but it's really anybody's game right now. We'll get into where we're at points wise in the standings and kind of what's going on with the. As of this recording, it is. What is that noise? Is that something that could be on the?
That's what we're talking. That's the noise, man.
Okay,
I wasn't here. You're going nuts.
Do you hear it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
About,
I'm going to adjust a couple of things here. Hey.
Huh? Whoa.
Oh, that is an interesting noise there.
We're in a desert wasteland now. This is weird. Where did everything go? Why is everything except for the podcast studio
We
here?
go away for a week and things go haywire, I guess.
And now we're in the Sahara Desert.
Anyway,
this is weird.
Anyway.
Just a desk and podcast equipment. And one bottle of water.
Yeah.
Fucking stab you guys.
Anyways, I do want to apologize for last week and not being here.
My botch.
But we're going to get all caught up on the Best of Super Juniors.
And I got to apologize. I'm a little late this morning.
So we will get into everything that's gone on. Real quickly, since you guys did go over the first 4 nights of Best of Super Juniors, I just want to give my recommended matches from those first 4 nights. Of course, Flip versus ACH from night 1, I thought, was like a 3 3/4 star match. Good stuff there. Taiji Ishimori beating the current champion Will Ospreay from night 1 as well, I believe. Yeah, that was the main event from night 1, so I thought that was a pretty good match. And then from night 3, Will Ospreay versus ACH. I really like what ACH has been doing in this tournament. He came in with his shoulder all taped up, so he's been selling that the entire tournament. He's rocking the AAW World Heavyweight Championship, sending shout-outs on his post-match promos to his guy Kingston back in AAW, and that's kind of been the theme. But a more serious ACH, I think. I feel like he's been in his post-match stuff, but more especially in the ring, not doing as much silly stuff, not too much of the over-the-top selling, although some of that's been coming into play a little bit in this middle part of the tournament. I feel like the last few days or so, with the exception of one or two matches, have been kind of, okay, well, we've got some guys that started off strong, and now we're going to slow them down and get other guys caught up on points. So it's a little bit of kind of even-stevening with the booking here in the middle of the tournament, with some guys getting their push slowed down, like Tiger Mask, for instance, and other guys getting some surprise wins here.
Yeah.
Kind of in the middle of the tournament. So, well, let's get into let's go back to night 5 in the A block. Yeah, so back to the 20.
That's way easier.
Back to the 24th. Yeah, last week you guys didn't have sound bites or anything, or you were.
We had sound bites.
Yeah,
Right.
Joe was our Michael Winslow. Remember that?
Yeah.
I remember like it was yesterday.
I'm thinking about getting Joe one of these, or maybe handing this touchpad over to Joe and giving him some more soundbite control.
I actually just wanted to fucking get a piece of paper and color on there and just write sound bites and just have them press them and say them out loud for us.
Just pretend it makes sounds. Yes, there you go.
I thoroughly loved Joe's sound bits.
So back to the 24th, night 5 in the A block, as we previously mentioned. Bushi took on Tiger Mask. Tiger Mask won this one. At this point, Tiger Mask was 2-0, had 4 points. Bushi still did not have a win, and Tiger Mask won this one again. Again, nothing important here, nothing really great to see, but Tiger Mask remaining undefeated. That's kind of a cool story. A lot of people expected Tiger Mask to be like Jushin Thunder Liger or what Tenzan was in the G1. The old guy that's not getting any wins. Well, he started off undefeated, so I thought that's kind of neat, because now you don't know where is he. Could he go all the way? Because it's really deadlocked.
Everyone's going into this stupid. What they need to do is come out with either a laser pointer or a giant ball of yarn and just throw it in one direction, distract him, and get the win that way.
There you go. Exactly.
It would work.
Yeah, every kitty cat gets distracted.
Yoshinobu Kanemaru beat ACH on night 5 here in the A block. That was kind of a surprise win, but ACH just having the one win. Yoshinobu Kanemaru didn't have any wins at that point, but of course he won with his diving DDT after some whiskey and the whiskey in the face and the brain buster, his usual skullduggery in that match there. Just a 1-star there. Again, a lot of this stuff pretty damn skippable. Then we had Flip versus Taiji Ishimori. This one was a little better, about 2.5 stars. Still fairly skippable. Flip gets the win here to get up to 4 points to tie with Taiji Ishimori's 4 points at this point. He wins with a leverage pin out of a bridge. Average back and forth match. Good athletic spots. Flip now has the tiebreaker over Taiji Ishimori if he can beat Will Ospreay at the end of the tournament. So that's kind of an interesting note.
I like that they gave these two guys some time though to do their shit.
Yeah, and that's really been the story about the entirety of the tournament. Is even if they're kind of uninteresting matches or just kind of average and you're just back and forth, they give them time. They all have at least about between 10 and 15 minutes usually. And they've all been right around 15 minutes. So that has been a nice thing. Will Ospreay on the 24th also took on Yo. Both guys had 2 points, one with 1 win each. Will Ospreay got the win here with the Stormbreaker. I thought this was a pretty good match for a guy like Yo, but to me, I think out of Sho and Yo, and we'll get into a match with Sho in a little bit here, I thought Yo kind of showed in this match that he doesn't really belong in the main event. I gave it 3 stars. It was a good match, but it could have been a lot better if Yo, I thought, was in a better spot. I think he's still showing that he's not quite ready to be in this spot. I get a little bit of a Yoshihashi vibe.
See, I've been digging Yo over Sho out of this singles push. He's someone I felt like just look-wise would be, behind.
And you're digging the red stars.
I feel like he's the one kind of stepping up right now and sticking out a little bit in ring-wise, so...
It was interesting here as well because it was Chaos versus Chaos, which is a rare, interfaction fight here. Yo fights from underneath, which I think kind of it's a natural story to tell with Yo, but his comebacks to me just are. I need a little more out of his comebacks, and he tends to kind of go back to the same spots, which is you could use that complaint throughout the time. I mean, everybody has their go-to
put a little
spots,
extra pepper on it, and you just show a little bit of that, fire.
Yep,
it's going to make that
exactly.
difference.
And then I thought Yo was a little sloppy in this match too. Not to just keep bagging on Yo, but again, against a guy like Will Ospreay, you gotta bring your game.
Step it up for sure.
Exactly. All right, B block now.
B block.
Night 6 from the 25th. Chris Sabin took on Marty Scurll. Marty Scurll needed a win here because he had not had a win yet. Sabin had one win with 2 points. Scurll got the win here with a reverse suplex. I thought good exchanges and some comedy early. But a good back-and-forth match at 2.5 stars. Then it was Kushida versus Taguchi. Kushida with 1 win here and Taguchi with no wins. And everybody expected Kushida would get the win here, but it was Taguchi with a very early roll-up victory. So a quick match. Kushida getting the Taguchi rather getting the upset in this one. In a quick
you're
match.
saying there's a chance.
I'm saying there's a chance for Taguchi Japan. There's always a chance. But yeah, I'm glad it was a quick match. It was a roll-up. It was like, oh my God, out of nowhere. It was kind of like the Yano situation with what they do with him in the G1 Climax. And so I was okay with it. You need a guy that's going to throw in some upsets like that once in a while. And it really made... this is going to make Kushida, get his ass in gear and be like, oh, I can't rest on my laurels or anything.
This motherfucker beat me.
Right, exactly. So then Sho versus El Desperado. El Desperado had 2 wins with 4 points going into this one, so Sho needed a victory here. He got it. He beat Desperado. Desperado beat Hiromu in a previous match, Hiromu Takahashi. So Sho beating El Desperado kind of puts him in that, he's in that rare air here because with Desperado beating Hiromu earlier and Sho beating a guy who beat Hiromu, I think that's something notable there. I thought a good finishing sequence in this match. Sho avoids the low blow, which is, you kind of see it coming and like, oh shit, here it comes, but then he avoids it. So I like that touch when they, it's low blows and all this bullshit over and over again in these matches, but then he manages to avoid it. So again, Nothing special here, just a 2.5 star special, but Sho getting the win, getting up to 4 points. Then Dragon Lee, who has 4 points, going against Hiromu, who only has 2 points with 1 win. Dragon Lee gets another win here, getting up to 6 points. So him and Tiger Mask up in that rare air of 6 points already. 3.5 star match, I thought here. Of course, Dragon Lee and Hiromu. I mean, these guys always bring it. To me, the only thing, the thing that kind of bothers me about when these two meet up, it's like they do all these like crazy fucking German suplexes like right away in the match, and they're just no selling and getting up and running around each other.
Very luchador style.
Right. So that kind of takes me out of it a little bit. And don't get me wrong, it's unique because you don't see it very often in New Japan, but to me it kind of takes me out of it.
That's why I like that Hiromu and El Desperado match so much from the previous week, because it was so luchador style, but not at the same time.
Yeah, I thought this again. This wasn't their best match that they've ever had, but I've not been one of those guys that have been like way into these guys' feud. I don't have that history with it. I've only seen them the few times in New Japan, and I think once in Ring of Honor. Right. I haven't seen any of their CMLL stuff, so there's that. Hiromu kind of plays heel in the match, which doesn't really work because the crowd's behind him anyway. There's an early chop fight, of course. They brawl into the crowd. Hiromu's tearing at Dragon Lee's mask. Hiromu does a snap German on the floor, and then the ref stops. He stops the ref's count. Then does the flying crotch onto the floor, which is a pretty cool spot there. More chop fights towards the end of the match. Leah hits a reverse Hurricane Rana, and Hiromu hits a Canadian Destroyer, and then Dragon Lee gets the win with a super dangerous finisher. It was like he's in the power bomb. pom position and then tucks Hiromu's head in and does a bridging German, if you can picture that. And
Jesus.
Forgive me for not having the names of these moves. There's no commentary on most of these shows.
No, there's not.
There's no Japanese or English commentary. Let's talk about that aspect of this for a minute, because there are probably a lot of new people that are experiencing this for the first time, and they're like, what's going on here? Where's the production value? What are we doing here? Well, even just a few years ago, you weren't even able to see like these most of these Super Juniors matches. You could just read about them. So just the fact that you can see these, this is a house show tour that they're on, and they put these Super Junior matches on there. And
I was gonna say, I feel like just 2 years ago, the rooms were darker with less people.
Right. Well, I don't know if they were darker necessarily, but yeah, a lot of gymnasiums, less people. Stuff like that.
Do they have any hard cam shows for the G1?
They used to, but last year, 2 years ago, they still did. Last year, they went to full production on all the G1 shows, and I wouldn't be surprised if you get full production with English commentary for all the G1 shows this year. But we'll see. I'm just glad that we got full productions last year for the G1. But the Super Juniors isn't quite as popular of a tour.
I love this grungy vibe, though. Just here's the camera, wrestle.
Yeah.
I love it.
Go at it.
And they've even improved on. I mean, before they would just do they would have a close up shot of the ring, and when they would go outside, they would do a wide shot of the ring. Now they at least have a guy with a handheld camera at ringside that they'll cut to. If the action spills outside of the ring or for ring entrances. So if they're upping that production value just a little bit, so it's going to be a slow process, and the more popular that New Japan gets and the Super Juniors tournament gets, the more that production value will go up. But we should just be happy that we're getting to see these, at all, really.
Yeah.
So there is that. All right, moving back to the A block now.
A block.
Nice.
From the 26th, Flip Gordon versus Tiger Mask. This is getting into the part of the tournament now where some of the booking is, okay, we got to get some numbers on this guy and get some numbers away from this guy. So Tiger Mask with 3 wins, taking on Flip with 2 wins. Flip got the win here to get him up to 6 points. Flip won with the springboard knee 450. He does a springboard, but instead of to his feet on the top rope, he lands on his knees on the top rope, does the 450 that way after his Kinder Surprise springboard kick to the face on the top rope. Tiger Mask counters the high flying throughout the match. I thought the story of this match was good because it was Flip doing his flips, doing his spots, being the spot monkey, and Tiger Mask countering throughout. He's taken too long to get to the top rope. He's taken too long to set up his bullshit, and Tiger Mask is countering and countering and countering, and Tiger Mask gets late into the match, and he's hitting his moves, but Flip's able to kick out. Hits the Tiger driver. He kicks out the butterfly suplex off the top. Nothing's putting Flip away, so finally Tiger Mask goes for the big splash off the top rope. Flip moves out of the way, and that's the end of it, basically. For
fucked up
for Tiger Mask. So
Come on, Flip.
they told a nice story. They're 3 stars. I thought that one's worth a watch. Pretty fun there. ACH versus Yo, both guys with 1 win in the tournament. So ACH needing points desperately here. He gets the win with his special DDT. Again, I'm sorry, I don't have names for these. It's like he's got the guy. He's got the guy on his torso. Basically, Ben Tuxon does a DDT from that position. I'm not even explaining it well.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. And this match, to me, I'm not going to get into the negativity of it. It was a 2-star match. Both guys take way too long to get to the top rope over and over again. Again, this, to me, was Yo showing a bit of his greenery, and ACH settling into, well, this is the middle of the tournament where it doesn't really matter that much, and we're just going to go through the motions and have a match.
Right.
So that's kind of what it felt like here. Taiji Ishimori versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Ishimori with 4 points, and Kanemaru with 2 points. So Kanemaru needing a win here to stay in the things here. He gets the win with a roll up after the usual skullduggery. Kanemaru is brawling in the crowd early in the match. Hits a draping DDT off the apron. That gives him the heat early in the match. Gets him a couple of near countouts early on. Taiji Ishimori steals the Golden Triangle Moonsault from what's his name?
Haha Klindix.
Yeah.
Ibushi.
Kota Ibushi.
Kota Ibushi. He does that move in the match. And I thought it was really interesting. No other match had a double down where the referee started counting the 10 count. I haven't seen that spot in a long time, and it got me to thinking because over in WWE, we got a last man standing match coming up. We see double downs in New Japan all the time. You never see the standing 10 count. Where's the damn standing 10 count finish, Ben? Let's bring that thing back for once. That's another finish you could do. Hell, that's a finish that should set up a last man standing match. A fucking standing 10 count. So we had that spot in this match, but then in the match immediately after, they do a similar double down spot, and the ref doesn't count the 10 count. So what the hell's going on? So they do that spot, but that doesn't lead to the finish, of course. Kanemaru, like I said, gets the win after the whiskey and all the other BS in the match. Then the main event, Will Ospreay versus Bushi. Ospreay with 2 wins, Bushi with none, desperately needing a win here, and Bushi got the win.
Nice.
I did not like it.
No?
I was surprised. Here's the thing. I like Bushi. I like the character. I like the gimmick. I like what he's doing. And much like Sonata in last year's G1, I've been waiting to see something from Bushi, and this was his opportunity against Will Ospreay, and it just wasn't there for me. I just wasn't feeling it. And
I'd agree with you on that. It was just that shock value, and it sets up a feud down the road, which it's going to be like when Evil beat Okada, you know.
Right.
So it's going to be a nice little feud to set up down the road, and, you know, hopefully Bushi can shine out of that a little bit. Right now, this is just kind of go, one and done. So.
Yeah, I absolutely hear what you're saying there, and I'm thinking that was their intention. But I just don't feel like he's on that level. He'll get a title shot at some point down the road against Will
this
Ospreay.
Is definitely what I was talking about earlier. One of those things was like, wait, fuck, did I just watch that? Like, holy shit!
And again, I thought this was below 3 stars. I gave it 2.5. Bushi works the neck after the attacking before the bell. They brawl outside, all the usual shit. I did really like the finish here, though. Bushi hits the mist and a roll up for a near fall. Ospreay counters the MX with a kick. And then the young lions start washing the mist out of Will Ospreay's eyes, and then Bushi gets the win with the MX after hitting the Canadian Destroyer and all that skullduggery in the match. So the skullduggery didn't directly lead to the finish, but again, I thought. Here's the thing: is like Red Shoes and the way New Japan books their referees to kind of look like idiots kind of bothers me, and that also took away from the quality here. So there was that aspect in this match to me, or with me as well. So anyway, that's what it was. Bushi, like I said, he'll get a shot down the line. So
yeah, I hope he gets a shot. And it's just one of those things too. It's just, you know. Showing, you know, the new audience too, like, hey, even watch these unknown shows. You never know what's going to happen.
Yes, exactly. All right, let's move on to the B block again. This is from the 27th, night 8.
B block!
Night 8 of the tournament. El Desperado with 2 wins takes on Marty Scurll, also with 2 wins. Now, I've got some great Marty Scurll audio here. Before Marty Scurll took on El Desperado, he, of course, faced him in a tag match with where Desperado was teaming with Minoru Suzuki, and Scurll was tagging with Chase Owens here.
Who the fuck put me in the ring with Minoru Suzuki? I'm a junior weight. You're the heavyweight. You should be wrestling him, not me.
You got bigger things. You got Desperado tomorrow. 2 more points. 2 more points.
Good point. Very good point, Chase. This is still the comeback of a century. From Desperado, tomorrow I'm going to do exactly what I did today. I'm going to break your little fingers. I'm going to make you cry.
And I love Desperado backstage. He's got his finger all bent, all janky looking. He's like, "Oh, you break my fingers? What kind of dastardly bullshit is that?" He's like, "Oh man, I'm gonna break your fingers tomorrow in our match." And so Desperado's upset about the broken fingers. Marty's he keeps claiming he's going to make the comeback of the century. He lost his first 2 matches. He's trying to make the big comeback here. So he does get the win with the cross-face chicken wing after the finger breaker spot, of course. Desperado's working the leg in the match. He uses chairs outside the ring. Skrull stomps on the broken hand with the bad leg and has to, he sells the leg after stomping on the fingers. They do the ref bump, and then you think the ref bump is going to lead to the end of the match, but it ends up being a swerve. Desperado's tapping out to the crossface chicken wing. There's no referee there, I'm sorry. Yeah, there's no referee there, but then the referee ends up getting revived and hits the crossface chicken wing again, and he taps out after the finger breaker. And then Marty Scurll is very happy after the match.
Don't call it a comeback! I've been here for years! As of today, the villain demands war on all numpties. Consider this war. It doesn't matter if you're Desperado numpty, if you're Takahashi numpty, if you're Taguchi numpty. All the numpties will fall to the villain. See ya! Oh, my fucking leg! Bastard!
Yeah, he's killing it backstage in these promos.
I was gonna say he's dropping some LL Cool J there.
Yes.
Don't call it a comeback.
Yep, that's the whole gimmick is the comeback.
I love it.
And so now that he's making his comeback, he's making the comeback of the century, and now he's got his sights set on. He's got his sights set on winning the tournament, and I don't have the right fucking soundbite. Okay. Ooh. Wait a minute, maybe this is it. Let me make sure.
Are you a subject? Like high school? Are you a superstar? It's not like high school. God damn it! It's nothing like.
Nope, that wasn't it.
Nothing like. What is it then, Cody? Huh? What was that?
Okay, give me 1 minute here. I'm gonna get this fucking thing because I wanted to make sure I got it here.
And then he fucked it up.
Yeah,
He's like, I gotta remember this. There's a third thing I needed to have for a sound clip.
Take a week off, and everything's all fucked up.
And then he didn't even press record on this podcast. He's like, ooh.
Let's see here. Is this it? Guess we'll find out. Yeah, this is it. He's on it. Yep, he's making the comeback of the century. Here's Marty.
You might as well call me the Numpty Hunter, because this is the comeback of a century. I might have lost my first 2 matches, but it was all a ploy. It was all a big trick. It was to make people think that the villain had fallen and he had no chance of winning the Best of Super Juniors. But I knew exactly what I was doing. I'm going to beat Will Ospreay, become IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion once again. Oh, and I'm also going to break Will Ospreay's fucking neck.
So yeah, good stuff there from Marty Scurll, making the comeback of the century. We'll see how it turns out for Scurll next week.
He's one of my picks to make it to the end. I believe my finals are Ishimori versus Scurll, because I like the idea of putting that Tongan Bullet Club versus the regular Bullet Club.
Ooh, interesting.
It kind of just adds a little bit of intrigue. That I do know, because of course I didn't bring my shit.
Of course. Dragon Lee versus Chris Sabin. Decent match here, a 3-star match. Sabin points up too much, which I thought was a little weird. Nice exchanges, opening and mid-match outside of the ring. Good near falls late. Chris Sabin gets the win to get up to up to 4 points. Dragon Lee, of course, one of the few that has 6 points here, so Sabin getting a much-needed win for him. Then we have my match of the tournament so far. Ooh. Kushida, who only has 1 win at this point, versus Sho, who has 2 wins. This match was very fucking unique. I was blown away by how different this match was. I was just at the point where I'm getting tired of the whiskey and the ref bumps and the skullduggery and the roll-ups and all that. And this, I'm like, I need something different. And here comes Kushida to save the day. This match was amazing. They did not do anything off the ropes. And by that, they didn't do any Irish whips. They didn't do any Irish whip reversals. They didn't do any Irish whips out of the corner. They only hit the ropes like 2 or 3 times in the match. But so the very first one was after they're doing an exchange of mat holds at the beginning of the match. They do a clean break, and then Kushida just runs and hits the ropes on one side, but doesn't hit any moves. It's just like, okay, I'm warming up here.
Gotcha.
I'm doing a warm up here. Then the second time, Kushida is outside on the apron and then does the thing where you kind of do you're coming in and you put your foot on the bottom rope and you spring off of that into like a DDT kind of a thing. He does one of those.
All right.
And then later in the match, Sho runs up against the ropes to get some momentum himself, and then Kushida immediately cuts him off by doing his handstand kick to the face. Those were the only things off the ropes in this match. Everything was mat-based. It was amazing.
Wow.
And now, this is not everybody's match, but I mean, I got 10 minutes into this thing. I'm like, holy shit, we're 10 minutes into this thing, and they haven't done anything off the ropes yet? And I'm like, what's going on here?
I need to see this.
So this I thought was just absolutely amazing, something very different. And yeah, again, if you like the WWE style, or you're just not used to a mat-based style, you might find this boring. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was 4.5 stars. My match of the tournament so far.
So check that out.
Yeah, very much very much enjoyed this thing. Kushida gets the much needed win here with the Back to the Future. I think I pretty much covered all the other interesting stuff in that match. But yeah, go out of your way and check that one out. Thought it was very good. And then the main event of that night, I'm sorry, I got the night thing here, the wrong one there. The main event from that night was Taguchi versus Hiromu Takahashi.
Yeah.
But you know what? I thought this was pretty decent too. It was fun. It was like a 3.5-er for me.
Okay.
You know, Taguchi only having the one win so far. Hiromu having also just one win. So somebody's got to get another win here to gain some momentum midway through the tournament.
And it was the funky weapon?
It was not. Hiromu got the win with a triangle submission.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was a very unique finisher there for Hiromu. Taguchi goes... the story here is that when these guys faced each other a year ago, Taguchi got the win with the ankle lock. Okay. And so in the promos up to the match, Hiromu's like, I got to find out a way to avoid this damn ankle lock. How am I going to get away? I got to get away from this ankle lock. And then Taguchi's like, yeah, I got the ankle lock. You're going to be afraid of me again. He's like, I'm going to get you with this ankle lock. So the very first thing in the match, Taguchi's chasing him around, trying to get a takedown, going after the ankle right away. Hiromu's running away. Taguchi starts flying all over the place. He's doing dives over the top rope, hitting stuff on the floor, flying hip attacks, the whole 9 yards. Does a big flip dive onto the floor. Hits a dodan for a close near fall. Does an ankle lock. Hiromu counters. Then hits a second dodan, but then he counters that one into a roll-up. Goes for the third dodan. Hiromu goes to counter, but then Taguchi hits a tombstone pile driver right back into an ankle lock. But then it was Hiromu twisting everything around, getting into that triangle submission. The finish for this thing was really great, really cool. And so it just goes to show that a goofball like Taguchi can show up and have a really cool,
Has he
fun
ever
match.
been like normal serious, or has he ever been like any kind of successful? Has he ever actually had like a title shot on or anything like that besides like 6-man, you know?
Yeah, he's I don't know.
He's just an interesting character.
I don't know if he's ever really been serious per se. Maybe he was early on in his career, in his young lion days, of course. Since I've been watching the last 3-4 years, he's always kind of been this character. But whenever he's wearing the Taguchi Japan jersey, he's number 69, not because of the, well, I'm sure it's because of the goofiness of the number 69.
What does that mean?
But the number 69 is significant to Taguchi because he is the 69th junior heavyweight champion.
Oh, nice.
So that's why he has that number, and then of course plays it up into his.
I've never looked into the history of the guy. Obviously I know who Taguchi is. He's the fucking weapon. Like you can't miss him. And again, like his promos, like his after any kind of promo with this guy is amazing. Like he just has fun. So it's like it's nice to see that in Japan.
Oh my and Garfunkel, yes. He actually doesn't do that line anymore, but that was like his big line a year ago was "Oh my" and Garfunkel. Okay, back to the A block now.
A block.
Night 9. This is from the 29th. This is the most. This is the newest. The newest show that's up on njpwworld.com. There is a show from the 30th. We are recording this on the 30th, but it's a VOD show, video on demand, and it has not been uploaded yet.
We're not no time travelers.
So we haven't been able to watch those matches yet.
I one of the movies.
So, so night 9. This was a bit of a tedious show here, but a pretty decent main event. Opening match for night 9 was Tiger Mask with the 6 points versus Taiji Ishimori only with 4 points, so 2 wins for him. Him needing a desperate win, he gets it here versus Tiger Mask. These two had a bit of a history in Noah that they talked about, going for championships there when Taiji Ishimori and Tiger Mask was doing stuff there. Cool. When Noah and New Japan had the relationship several years ago, so that played into some stuff going on in the match there too. But
sounds hot.
Ishimori got the win there, no big deal. ACH versus Bushi. Bushi again getting a bit of a push here with that win over Ospreay. That's his 1 win in the tournament. ACH kind of needing a win to stay in contention here. He only has 2 wins with 4 points. Bushi got another win here with the MX. I love the beginning of this match. Bushi tends to wrestle his matches wearing his T-shirt, but ACH peels the T-shirt off right away so he can chop the shit out of him. So I like that was part of the story of the match. But Bushi, of course, gets the T-shirt back and starts choking ACH with it. That's usually Bushi's gimmick with the T-shirt as well. Bushi does the typical thing where he's working over ACH's taped-up shoulder. That's a story throughout the tournament. And gets the win here, keeping him alive in the tournament. Then Flip Gordon took on Yo in this was okay, 2 stars, whatever. Yo needed a win here with only the 1 win. Flip having 3 wins with 6 points. So Yo got the win with a leverage pin.
Nice.
Flip had a good late near fall in the match with a top rope 450, but this was just kind of a good back and forth match. Actually, Flip, I thought, dominated the offense a little bit more than Yo here. He again fought from underneath. So people that like Yo, like Taco, might have liked this match.
I'm not a fan. I'm just saying.
Right on. Then the main event here, Will Ospreay versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru. This was the one with the good main event that or the good finish I was thinking of here. I thought 3 stars on this one. Both guys having 4 points, so whoever won this one's going to have some momentum going forward in the tournament. Kanemaru, of course, attacks before the bell. They brawl on the floor. He targets the neck, of course. Counters his Ospreay's corner drop kick, hits a DDT on the floor. Now again, they do the ref bump here. Yoshinobu Kanemaru goes for the low blow, or hits the low blow, then goes for a chair. Ospreay wrestles the chair away from him, but then the ref turns around, sees Ospreay with the chair, takes the chair away from Ospreay while the referee's getting rid of the chair. Kanemaru goes for the whiskey, goes to spit it in Ospreay's face, but Ospreay is canny. He's seen this. He covers up Kanemaru's mouth so he can't spit the whiskey. Then he super kicks him in the face, spits the whiskey up in the air, hits the Stormbreaker and pins him to get the win there. So Ospreay with 6 points now, well on his way to good stuff in the tournament.
Like baby birded the whiskey into somebody else's mouth, and then
I feel like they did something like that at some point, or certainly where
like the boogeyman with the worms.
The boogeyman, exactly.
I think they did do a spot where maybe it might have been Ricochet who did a similar thing where he covered up Kanemaru's mouth and then made him spit it into one of his own partner's mouth in his partner's face in like a tag match. I believe that was a spot.
That's funny.
That seems realistic.
before. So yeah, exactly. Very realistic pro wrestling here. So if anybody cares about how I'm doing in my predictions, I've only got. I started off strong night 1 and 2. I had like 2 or 3 right predictions on the first couple of nights, but it's been very stagnant since then. Very sporadic. I've only got 7 correct predictions in the B block and 9 correct predictions in the A block right now. So current standings for your A block, we got 4 people with 6 points. You got Tiger Mask, Will Ospreay, Flip Gordon, and Taiji Ishimori. Everybody else has 4 points. So really, everybody's you've only got.
It's like we're in the middle of the tournament.
Well, you've only got 2 matches left, so it's down to the people with 6 points at this point because whoever wins those matches are gonna, obviously
I'm dead even on both blocks.
So Ospreay for predictions, you mean?
Yeah, I got 9 points on each block so far.
Okay, so you're beating me. I've only got 7 on the B block there. So
I've got points.
So if anybody cares, and that's something fun to follow along with. So, but yeah, in the A block, the 6-pointers, like I said, so Ospreay has to face Tiger Mask and then Flip Gordon on the last night. So probably going to beat Tiger Mask. I think he should beat Flip Gordon at this point. I like Flip. He's been good, but some of his mid. He hasn't really impressed me in these mid-tournament matches. I thought he was good early, but everybody was good early on. So I guess we'll see what they do. And
well, he's newer. Again, it's his first time over here. It's not like he can't come back again.
No,
yeah,
never.
And well, he's gonna the match with Ospreay should be really phenomenal. And being that it's the last night of tournament action before the finals, of course that's going to be a great matchup. Who else here? Tiger Mask has, like I said, Ospreay, and then he's facing ACH. So probably taking a couple losses there. Flip, like I said, has got to take on Ospreay, but he also has to face Bushi, who's been getting who's been getting that push lately. But Bushi. But then Bushi's only got the 4 points here, too, so he doesn't really have a chance to win it. Although he could get to 8. He's facing Flip and Kanemaru, so I guess we'll see. And then, of course, my pick, Taiji Ishimori, he's got to take on ACH and Yo. So I think he'll win versus Yo. ACH could go either way, but I think he'll get the win there too. So he could go all the way to 10 points pretty easily at this point. So I guess we'll see what happens there. Then over on the B block right now, current standings, got a bunch of people with 4 points. Taguchi's only got the 1 win over Kushida, and then everybody else. Dragon Lee is the only one with 6 points right now in the B block.
B block.
But again, we got 3 matches left for everybody in the B block. Kushida still has to face Dragon Lee, El Desperado, and Hiromu. Chris Sabin still got to face Taguchi, El Desperado, and Hiromu. Let's just jump back to Hiromu. Hiromu's got to face Kushida, Chris Sabin, and Sho. Marty Scurll's still got to face Taguchi, which should be interesting. Dragon Lee, another good one. And then Sho. I like what Sho's been doing. That match with Kushida that I was talking about, I mean, that was a great match. And props not only to Kushida, but for Sho for showing that he could hang. And it was a long, good match, like I said. And I'm more of a Sho fan at this point in the Sho and Yo camp. But again, I think
he's in a stellar fucking block too.
Right. And Sho, he already did beat El Desperado, so he's kind of earned the junior tag title shot, which is what I was looking for from those guys. I wonder if did Yo face. That was one of the stories I forgot to bring up as we were going through there. Yeah, Yo beat Bushi, who was kind of in the mix there, talking about the junior tag tournament, junior tag titles or whatever, but he still has to face Yoshinobu Kanemaru yet. So I think Yo will get a win probably versus Yoshinobu Kanemaru, so that those guys have the singles wins over the junior champions and get
such
a shot.
An easy way to set up a story.
Exactly. So with Sho already having the win over the other one, it makes sense there. And then Hiromu's still got to face Taguchi, Chris Sabin, and Sho. I think I already mentioned that. So, but yeah, Dragon Lee, the only one with 6 points. Got to face Skrull, El Desperado, and Kushida. So good stuff coming up. Good matches and a lot of intrigue going on in the B block right now. So, all right, we kind of went over the key matches coming up, so we don't really have to do that based on that. So let's change it up. Let's talk some Ring of Honor.
I nailed this theme song last week, too.
Yes, I thought you did a very nice job with the... Pa! Yeah. So we'll talk these Honor United shows that were on Honor Club house shows over in the UK. They did Edinburgh, London, and Doncaster. Fast forwarding a bit to this week's Being the Elite. One of my favorite things going on Being the Elite is SoCal Uncensored. And they're doing this bit on Being the Elite, that no matter what fucking town they're in, they hate it because they're not in SoCal anymore. So they're in the beautiful city of London, and it's all shit. And it's been every week on Being the Elite.
They kept that up, too, with the Honor United shows, too. They kind of mentioned that a little bit. So just saying how much... It sucks, and they don't have the sun out here like in California.
Well, and they were really on point. I thought what they did on Being the Elite this week was great.
What's this place called? Doncaster, England? Doncaster. Oh, no, Doncaster is great. Doncaster is not great. Fun fact, they invented the toothbrush here?
I don't think so.
No, because if they invented it anywhere else, it would have been called the teeth brush. Just a bunch of toothless douchebags. Right. This place sucks. Everyone romanticizes London. Oh, London's so great. But you know what? London sucks. London is the birthplace of suck. The last thing that was cool that happened in Scotland is when Mel Gibson cut that promo on that horse and convinced all those jobbers and fired them up to fight the English. And when was that?
Have you noticed that the pigeons won't even take a dump because they think this place is already covered in shit? This is supposed to be fresh water. Look how dirty.
It looks like gravy.
I think they pooped in it. I think this is like the septic tank of the building.
This is probably where we have to drink tonight.
Everywhere I look,
it
looks like shit.
everywhere.
And why does a siren go off every 5 minutes?
It's criminal.
I hate this place, man.
Right
I can't wait to get back to SoCal. I can't wait to get back to Southern California.
SoCal, baby.
I see you.
Man, that's so awesome.
Kazarian, when he's like, when Mel Gibson cut that promo on that horse and convinced all those jobbers. Like, that, what a great line that was. So, yeah, I'm digging SoCal Uncensored. 5 from the 24th in Edinburgh, Young Bucks took on Nick Aldis and Mark Haskins. They won that match. Again, I didn't see this stuff. I'm just kind of giving you some highlights of the results of the stuff that I read about. The boys beat Toru Yano and Delirious. Bully Ray attacked them after continuing that storyline. I saw an interesting note of somebody complaining about the Bully Ray thing, and I kind of agreed with it. You got Bully Ray on tour in the UK, but you left the Beer City Bruiser and guys like Josh Woods, back in the United States. But you bring Bully Ray over just to attack the boys and do shit like that. And I kind of agree with that sentiment.
Yeah, but he's a Hall of Famer.
A WWE
and he is
Hall of Famer.
He is a star, but he's not the draw. So I kind of agree a little bit with that sentiment. The Kingdom beat Dalton Castle, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Jay Lethal in a 6-man match. That sounded interesting there. And then the Briscoes beat Cody and Hangman Page. I guess if Cody and Hangman Page... Well, that was for the tag titles, actually. So Briscoes, of course, retaining there on this house show. Then in London on the 26th, Jay Lethal beat Mark Briscoe. The TV title was on the line in a 4-way match. Silas Young defended against Punishment Martinez, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Sonata. But, of course, Silas Young retained there.
Fuck yeah.
Bully Ray versus the boys. No Dalton Castle to be found anywhere here, but Bully Ray got the win. And then Nick Aldis and Cody faced off to promote that Nick Aldis is going to be officially at All In. So it looks like he will probably retain that NWA World Heavyweight title going into the match with Cody. And then they added the stipulation that if Cody wins the Ring of Honor Championship coming up at Best in the World and holds that until All In, it will be title for title at All In between those two if Cody is in fact the champion.
Love it.
And if Nick Aldis is the champ, because I still think there's a chance that somebody like Flip could come come along and beat Nick Aldis for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship.
Kind of teasing it like that too. Not necessarily that situation, but they're saying, if he's NWA champ going into All In, he will defend it. They're not saying, they haven't said that he's officially like All In. They're saying if he's champ, he's going to be defending.
Okay,
so
interesting.
The words they've been using, I've been interested. It's been intriguing.
Yeah, Nick Aldis without the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship isn't that interesting at all, to be quite honest. Then it was the main event was Kingdom versus SoCal Uncensored versus the Hung Bucks. So 3-way action here for the 6-man titles. I heard this match was actually pretty good. Did you get a chance to see this one from night 2, Taco?
Kind of, in the background.
Yeah.
Background noise a little bit, but what the fuck do you expect out of these guys?
Yeah,
they're on the ball. There's a reason why they're always paired up together. They're traveling carny. Pair the act together, and these guys just always know how to do it to close out a show.
Yeah, anytime you get the Young Bucks in there with the SCU guys, and the Kingdom have been really stepping up lately too.
Fuck
so
yeah, they have been.
Then from the 27th in Don Callis, England, it was Jay Lethal versus Matt Taven in a singles match. Lethal getting some revenge here. Again, Lethal is on the tour of getting his wins back against people that defeated him in the previous year or so. So Lethal continuing that quest there. Sumi Sakai defended the Women of Honor Championship for the second time, this time on international soil. So now the Women of Honor Championship officially becoming a world championship.
Official.
She successfully defended against Chardonnay in what sounded like was a pretty decent match for Women of Honor. Then Hangman Page took on Hiroshi Tanahashi in what was, just from what I heard, just an okay match. But I like Hangman Page in a big spot against a big New Japan guy. Getting that experience in there with Tanahashi in a singles match, I thought was pretty cool. Then the main event from this final night in Doncaster, England, was the Briscoes versus Evil and Sonata versus TK O'Ryan and Vinny Marseglia versus the Young Bucks. 4-way tag match here. Excuse me, the Young Bucks again getting the win there. So Young Bucks getting the big push here and into their upcoming tag title match at Best in the World. That might be a spoiler, actually. I don't know if they've actually said that on TV yet, but sorry for that if it is. But it's pretty obvious that they're kind of been building up to that anyway. So this week on Being the Elite, I wanted to talk a little bit more about that. Of course, we talked about SoCal Uncensored hating everyone, but Kenny Omega still has not responded other than to say that he's going to talk to the Young Bucks after Dominion, so not wanting the Young Bucks in his corner for the match versus Okada. I think that's significant because the Young Bucks were there for Kenny Omega in all 3 matches last year.
They've been there for all his major matches.
Right. So that's significant. He'll have Ibushi, hypothetically, in his corner. I think that's very intriguing going into this 2 out of 3 falls match. But Omega cut a really nice kind of promo for the match on Being the Elite this week. He talked about how, Okada, you're the better wrestler than me. You're just better than I am, but I'm the better athlete. I'm preparing harder than you. I'm in the gym. They did a nice montage of him working out.
He had a montage.
Exactly. They did the Rocky montage for Kenny Omega. So
motherfucking montage.
Thought that was pretty cool. We had the Young Bucks saying goodbye to Reseda, where the American Legion Hall post there has been the home to PWG for so many years. PWG moving on to a bigger building, but only because they are tearing down the American Legion post. So they had to find a new spot.
That's happening to a lot of legions.
But the big story coming out of this week's Being the Elite was Hangman Page being questioned by the authorities here because some surveillance footage has been made available of Hangman Page coming out of the hotel room after Joey Ryan was murdered in Japan. And I love the interrogation because it's clearly Cody and I believe one of the Young Bucks just altering their voices. Did you see their hands coming into play, getting in Hangman's face? But it's like, come on, you fucker. Why don't you confess? You know you're guilty, you son of a bitch. So it's just really great stuff there. All right, this week's Ring of Honor TV taking place in Chicago. This is the first of the 4 episodes taped in Chicago that Taco and I were in attendance for. This is very interesting because coming up this weekend, they are going to be taping more TV in New York City. So we've got 4 weeks of TV that started last week for Ring of Honor, and then the next TV tapings are going to start occurring probably right before or after Best in the World, coming up at the end of when is Best in the World? That's
6/29,
June 29th. So we might have 1 or 2 of the New York TV taping, probably just 1, maybe none, going into as the go home for Best in the World.
Maybe they're taping for next year's Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I have not done my Ring of Honor TV taping calendar math yet, but it's interesting stuff here. So, opening match, the Dogs took on Cheeseburger and Jushin Thunder Liger. I'm telling you, man, I get a kick out of Rhett Titus's little promo that he cuts when he comes out. Don't be silly. I'm the big dog. That's Little Willie. So, I get it.
They're fun.
Yeah,
it's fun opening mid-card kind of stuff.
Their music's fun. They're fun.
Yeah. Jushin Thunder Liger and Cheeseburger get the win with the double Shote and the Brainbuster here. Just fun stuff. Dalton Castle challenges both Cody and Marty Scurll, so that's been made official now. Cody and Marty Scurll versus Dalton Castle in a 3-way for the Ring of Honor Championship at Best in the World. Apparently on Ring of Honor TV last week, Scurll accidentally hit Cody with the umbrella, so we're teasing dissension amongst the Bullet Club again between Cody and Kenny Omega. Honestly, at this point, I kind of feel like the belt should go back to Cody. I know I've been kind of propping up Marty Scurll the last few weeks, and after thinking about it, Marty Scurll is a bit of a goofball too, So I'm kind of leaning back towards Cody of all people here, who has the most heat with me out of anybody. But Cody is a big star, and he's. I don't want to say he's a big draw because again, All In sold out in a half hour, right? But Taco, you and I were at the show at the Odeum. You could see it on TV. That place was obviously not sold out. So I thought that was interesting that, the Young Bucks were on that show. Cody was on that show, but that show was not sold out, which is interesting.
It wasn't Omega or Okada.
Exactly. That didn't have. And I think All In as well, maybe even without Okada and Omega, that's a big that's a big part of the draw. But I think another big part of the draw is the hey, fuck you WWE aspect. Yep. That's a big part of it, and the fact that it's an indie super show. It is Okada, it is Omega, it is bringing in the Lucha Brothers, Penta,
Tessa Blanchard.
I feel like if you brought that
super show
here, it would have sold out, or elsewhere. It's just that Chicago area gets hit pretty hard with bringing in Jushin Liger in. It's kind of a walk in the park in the Chicago area. It's nothing really special to them. Where as opposed to Long Beach, it's like, oh fuck, oh shit, let's go.
Right. And again, Chicago being centrally located, a lot of people willing to travel for All In that's going to be a huge deal. Whereas this is just a Ring of Honor TV taping, and Ring of Honor TV isn't that interesting, really. So, I mean, it just kind of, what do you do? So, what else do we got going on here? Sumi Sakai defended versus Jenny Rose. This match, I thought came across a little better on TV than I thought it did in person. It was a good match, I thought, for
I enjoyed it.
Women of Honor standards. So
I love Sumi Sakai's freaking America gear.
I was gonna say I liked Jenny Rose actually changing up her look a little bit, a little bit more heelish and everything. So nice touch.
And like I said, the match I thought was better than I thought it would be. My only gripe here, it was the build up to this match, and I liked what they were trying to do, give a little bit of edge to Jenny Rose, add that little bit of conflict here in the match, and that was the idea. But it's such a pro wrestling trope to where the whole conflict was they were tagging together. There was a miscommunication or whatever. Jenny Rose goes to hit one of the bad guys and hits Sumi Sakai instead. And what bothers me so much, like the promo build up to this thing, they're doing a promo in the ring, and Jenny Rose throws to the footage. You could clearly see that it was like it was a miss. It was like, oh, she was going to do this, and it was a clear accident. You threw to the footage, but you're still upset because she accident. What the fuck is that? That doesn't make any sense.
I'm pissed because of this accident.
And that was a thing like back in the day in pro wrestling where, someone would miss and hit them by accident and then they'd be upset about it. Well, didn't you ever go back and watch the footage?
Fuck that footage.
Like, it's like you don't watch Monday Night Raw. You don't watch this stuff back. And in the promo and the build up to this, she literally she shows the footage. It's like she should be like, oh, my bad. But whatever. It was what it was. And they ended up having a good match. So fine. So Sumi Sakai retained, of course, with Smash Mouth. At first, I thought they were calling it Smash Mouse. Now they're calling it Smash Mouth. They're making references to the Hey Now You're an All-Star on the TV show. I guess it's called Smash Mouth. Anyway, Silas Young cuts a promo on Austin Aries. That's going to be coming up. I believe they're doing that next week for the TV title, so look forward to that one. Then SCU takes on the Kingdom. SoCal Uncensored here. Now this was this was the follow-up or whatever, because the Kingdom finally won the 6-man championships back at the house show. Finally Taven had some, it was a conspiracy because he was supposed to have the championship shot against Dalton Castle, but he got the 6-man championship shot with the Kingdom. They won the championships back that they stole. So SoCal is, of course, upset that they stole them, but then also won them back. So here they have the match, but it ends in a disqualification. But Christopher Daniels goes to have the brass knuckles or whatever, but the ref sees them. Taven gets the big staff, but the ref takes that away as well. Then Kaz comes in with a chair, but ends up swinging and missing and bouncing it off the ropes, hitting himself. The referee turns around, sees the chair on the ground, disqualifies the Kingdom. So SoCal getting the disqualification win, but I'm sure the referees and the officials won't go back and check the footage, God forbid.
Yeah, it was.
So I was pissed too, because I was having fun with this match, especially again. I love the Kingdoms, like the way they work as a 3-man team. They hit 3 moves in succession on a regular basis, and they change it up regularly. So I was pissed. Like, I mean, whether or not it's TV, it's like, come on, just let me get a finish here.
So, I mean, I'm hoping that they bring this back for Best in the World. That seems naturally where they're going, and we'll hopefully get something clean there. But it's really interesting here. Are they trying to go have SoCal go babyface so that when the contract comes up at the end of the year, the fans want them back, or are they just going to keep these guys heels? Are we going to try to build up the Kingdom as good guys? Because the conspiracy shit's been true. But finally they're getting some the skullduggery was not in their favor here, so the sympathy is on them. Of course, the sympathy is on Taven for not getting his rightful championship shot, but of course, him in the Kingdom rightfully winning the championships back. So it's interesting.
And for the record, too, when Vinny smashed that balloon on, I think it was Kazarian's face, the crowd, we were not chanting, "This is awesome." We were chanting, "You sick fuck."
Right. I didn't even notice that. That's right. Because, Vinny Marcellia comes out with the balloons, right? And they all float up at the ceiling, and the heat or whatever happened up there caused a couple of the balloons to float down. Was it Kazarian? One of the guys from SoCal grabs a balloon and pops it over Marcellia's head. Then later in the match, Marcellia's in the ring, and you couldn't have. It was like perfect.
So perfect.
Marcellia's in the ring. You see the balloon floating down. He grabs it, pops it over. I believe it was Clinton Dix's head.
I can't think of his name either.
Scorpio Sky pops it over his head. So
I'm laughing over at Dick's head.
SoCal getting the DQ victory there with the skullduggery. We mentioned the three-way main event for Best in the World becoming official, and they show Cody in the back viewing the monitor during that announcement and not liking that it is going to be a three-way. The Bullet Club is not fine, ladies and gentlemen.
I love the promo they tried to pull off on the TV too between Marty and.
It was a replay of one they've done before, but
Okay.
I get a kick out of Marty Skrull continued, yes, I'm gonna take on Dalton Castle. And then Marty's like, no, come on, it's me, it's my turn now. It's gonna be me. So yeah, I get a kick out of it.
It's gonna be me.
All right. That plays into his gimmick too, because he's a boy band guy.
Yep.
Before we get out of here, let's do the Kojima tweet. What the hell happened?
That was 1 second of awesome.
Now it's time for the Satoshi Kojima Tweet of the Week.
Follow Kojima on Twitter at cozy_.
This is one of my favorites
Lariat.
I've read in a while.
Hello, it was raining today. My favorite bakery gives me extra bread when it rains. It is such a happy thing. It was nice to be alive. It was nice to be alive.
Whose bakery gives them extra goodies on a rainy day? That would be a sweet bakery.
That's a great bakery. I gotta get at that bakery. Follow the show at Strong Honor on Twitter. Follow me at Tommy Stryker. Go to stronghonor.com for all the back episodes. BestProWrestlingPodcast.com will get you to the same website. Make sure you check out our other podcast, The Best Pro Wrestling Podcast, where we talk about all of the best in the professional wrestling world, including WWE, Ring of Honor, New Japan, all of
wrestling.
it.
Don
NXT.
Callis, England.
Absolutely.
Don
So
Callis,
check that out
England,
as well.
Yes.
Rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. Check out SLTDWrestling.com. Taco, where can people find you?
Follow me on Twitter at HGREV Taco.
And you can follow me, Joe, at Joe BPWP. That's at Joe, Best Pro Wrestling Podcast.
That's going to do it for Strong Honor. Thanks for checking it out. Bye.
Peace. 5 stars.
Doing the math. I don't know. You might as well call me the Numpty Hunter. Professional wrestling is a fight. Hasta jueves. Adios.